There are new coronavirus hotspots emerging in India, areas with a disproportionate number of COVID-19 cases. Now, we are going to focus on 3 such virus hotspots within a 50-kilometre radius of the national capital. Let's start with Palwal in Haryana. The city has reported 25 confirmed cases so far, out of which 24 are linked to the Tablighi Jamaat congregation. The authorities are racing against the clock to track down people who have come into contact with the infected patients. 11 villages in Palwal have been sealed and 2 lakh people have been screened. The police have also been roped in to trace phone records in an effort to identify the people who attended the Jamaat gathering. In Faridabad, the tally rose to 21 on Monday. Out of the 7 new cases, 5 were linked to the Tablighi Jamaat congregation. The authorities have identified 117 people who attended the event in Delhi. More than 1,000 people with foreign travel history have also been tracked down and quarantined. Faridabad has tested 272 samples so far, out of which 196 have come back negative. Now, the results for the rest are still waited upon. In the city of New, 6 more people tested positive on Monday, out of which 5 are foreign nationals from Sri Lanka, Indonesia, Malaysia and Thailand, where there are 14 cases in the city, out of which 13 are linked to the Tablighi Jamaat congregation. The authorities have stepped up medical surveillance in the city and have identified 4 villages that the Jamaat attendees visited after returning. A total of 1,193 residents are being monitored for symptoms at the moment. Amid rising international pressure, India has now decided to lift the blanket ban on the export of hydroxychloroquine, which has been touted as a possible cure for COVID-19. The drug will now be exported on a case-by-case basis to foreign countries. Paracetamol, the common fever medication, has also been made available for export. The Foreign Ministry announced that while domestic demand will remain the government's priority, both paracetamol and hydroxychloroquine will be exported to countries that have been badly hit by the virus. And the producers will be permitted to export drugs to fulfill their prior commitments. 24 active pharmaceutical ingredients and formulations have also been made free for export by the government. This decision comes at a time when the US president has been doubling down on his demand for hydroxychloroquine. On Monday, Trump threatened to retaliate against India if Prime Minister Narendra Modi decided against lifting the export curbs. Though Trump has called the drug a game changer, experts in the US are skeptical about how effective it can be. Nearly half of America's hydroxychloroquine supply comes from India, and the export ban had created a huge shortage in the US market. Now, India maintains that it has an adequate stockpile of hydroxychloroquine tablets. The government has placed an order for 10 crore tablets with the top 2 manufacturers in the country. Also, keep in mind that hydroxychloroquine is an approved treatment for COVID-19 in India, but it is still under trial in the US. Our correspondent Siddhant Sibal gets us this report on India's decision to roll back the export ban.
In a major development, India has partially removed the ban on export of hydrochloroquine. The Indian authorities will take a call depending on the existing supply here in India and domestic demand, and only then the orders which have already been placed will be given a go-ahead. The final call will be taken by the Department of Pharma and the Ministry of External Affairs depending on the humanitarian or the COVID crisis in that respective country. We know that India has got requests from across the world, not only through diplomatic channels but also world leaders personally calling Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi for hydrochloroquine. We know that 30 countries have asked India for this, and it shows India's place when it comes to the global pharma sector. But by and large, we know that US President has spoken about it publicly 2 times. First about he having conversation with the Indian Prime Minister saying that the orders should be given a go-ahead. And then again, he's talked about and said that there might be retaliation if India does not allow the existing orders to be given a go-ahead. But by and large, large, the Brazilian president has also come out in open regarding this. The request they have put to Indians, and there are several countries in West Asia, in Gulf, and in Europe who have requested India for this drug, for hydrochloroquine. But by and large, this is something. This shows that how this crisis, the COVID crisis, has become a global crisis, and it requires global coordination and cooperation. With video journalist Sujoy Siddhant Sibal for WION in New Delhi.